Hello, I'm Niall DeBubba, and this is my History Day project on the Black Panthers Party for Self-Defense. In October 15th, 1966, in Oakland, California, Huey Newton and Bobby Seale founded the Black Panthers Party for Self-Defense after the police abuse in the Watts riots. The Black Panthers Party established that they were not the ones to shy away from a fight. They would have uniforms and guns with them most, if not all, the time. They were so feared that the FBI would have some of them assassinated because of their power in the civil rights movements. They were also one of the first civil rights groups that believed in militantly struggling for equality across gender and color. Their main motive of starting the Black Panthers Party was to establish economic, social, and political change for all races. This interview with Dr. Claude A. Louis-Homey gives more of a professional viewpoint on the Black Panthers.
The founding of what became the Black Panthers, it was the result of groups of citizens in communities across the country in Alabama, Mississippi, Illinois, of course, California, who came together to try to improve the life conditions and the skills and the knowledge base of themselves and fellow community members.
The Black Panthers Party believed in retaliation instead of taking oppression from racist, oppressive people. They represent the last great thrust by the greater black community that believed in self-defense for the black man. They wanted equality, justice, and freedom for the black community. To achieve this, they needed a program. That program was the 10-point program. This 10-point program was a list of basic things that the Black Panthers wanted for the black community.
Also, your soul, your needs, your political desires and needs, because that is Huey's soul. When we first organized the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, he would say, Bobby, he says, we're going to draw up a basic platform, just basic, that black people can read. He says, we don't want to go real elaborate with all these essays and dissertations and all this stuff, because the brother going to look at that and he can say, man, I ain't got time for that. I got to go see what I can do for myself. It's just a basic platform that the mothers who struggle hard to raise us, that the fathers who worked hard, that the young brothers in school who come out of school semi-literate.
This video clip showing Bobby Seale's speech gives more of an insight on what the Black Panthers 10-point program was about. Some of the things that they wanted were to have freedom and power to determine the future of the black community. They wanted to end all the police brutality that were exclusively oppressive to blacks, like in the Watts riots. They wanted to end all the robberies against the black communities, housing fit for humans to live and raise a family in. They also wanted to be exempt from military service and to end all police brutality and murder of black people. They also wanted freedom of all black men wrongfully held in prison. They asked for when a black man was brought to trial that they were tried in a court by a jury of their peer group. One big blow to the black community was to have jobs. Many black people did not have jobs, and most of them were out on the streets.
What have I been living through? Nothing but a lot of work and less pay.
Less pay than the white man, you mean?
That's right.
Do you think it always has to be this way?
Not necessarily.
What do you think will bring about a change?
Give everybody a job, that's all. That's all any of us need is a job. See all us men standing out here? We don't need nothing but a job. You wouldn't see us out here. We don't have nowhere to go. We don't have no jobs. Where's it for us to do? We come out here and drink.
The Black Panthers Party unofficially started in LA, where police abuse was at an all-time high and they wanted to stop it. From the Watts riots to walking down the street, blacks were abused, beaten, and killed by the police. At the Watts riots, a crowd of people gathered near the corner of a street to watch the arrest of a black man, and they soon grew angry by what they believed to be another incident of racial abuse by the police. A riot soon started and it was taken on by the people that lived there in the Watts. They were angry after years of economic and political cutoff. The rioters eventually took over a 50-square-mile area of central Los Angeles, robbing stores, burning buildings, and beating whites.
August the 11th, 1965, the bloodiest riot in 40 years of America's troubled racial history begins. Los Angeles, California, the district called Watts. 34 persons die, $40 million worth of property is destroyed, almost 4,000 are arrested. The American Negro, the invisible man, breaks out in a scream, "Look at me, look at me. Know me for what I am. Look at me if you can."
Howard K. Smith reports The Face of Watts.
The Six-Day War in Watts last August focused attention on the frustration and the anger of the American Negro living in large urban ghettos. It exposed for all the world to see the sense of isolation in which, according to the McCone report, law and order have only tenuous hold, and where marginal idleness leads to despair.
The Black Panthers, together with the freedom fighters Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, and many other civil rights progressors, accomplished things that could not happen without the helps of others. With the helps of others, the Black Panthers gave the blacks the right to vote, the right to be employed, the right to the use of public property such as buses, water fountains, parks, and restaurants. They gave the blacks decent living conditions fit for the shelter of human beings, the decent education of black children, and completely free health care for all black and oppressed people. The Black Panthers as a group taught black pride and stood up for the rights of blacks in their communities. The Black Panthers showed aggressiveness in the face of police brutality.
I think it was a sense of empowerment that ordinary folks, working class people, domestics, people who clean people's homes, and had very low status, low paying jobs, could come together to learn about history, learn about the culture, and to organize to better take care of their children, to help them learn, help be healthier, and be more effective human beings.
The Black Panthers weren't only the militant people you may have thought they were. They launched the first Panthers free breakfast for school children in January 1969. They launched kitchens in the cities across the nation, feeding more than 10,000 children every day before school. In Chicago, Fred Hampton led 5 different breakfast programs for the west side of Chicago, a free medical center, and initiated a door-to-door program of health services. The fall of the Black Panthers occurred in late 70s and 80s. J. Edgar Hoover stated that the Panthers are the greatest threat to the internal security of the country.
Americans have loved guns for a very long time, yet when the members of the more radical members of the Black Panther Party, started organizing and training for self-defense of their community, and saying that since America's use of violence against black folks is a long tradition, that they would stand and protect their community. I think that was frightened a lot of whites, and particularly got a lot of play in the media.
To destroy the Black Panthers, the FBI released COINTELPRO, a project that aimed to destroying groups that they saw as a threat to America. The FBI would use COINTELPRO to try to destroy many civil rights activists and groups such as Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and many other civil rights groups. They would kill and jail these members for life to get them out of their way. Such as Fred Hampton, a Black Panthers Party member who was 21 years old when killed in a raid in the night of December 4th, 1969. He was on the verge of adding thousands of South Side Street gang members to the group, which would have doubled the size of the National Black Panthers Party. They shot Fred Hampton twice in the shoulder and later shot him twice in the head. Mondowi Longa and Edward Poindexter are still in jail to this day because of COINTELPRO for a crime that they did not commit, for the evidence used against them would not hold in court today. They were both accused of blowing up a home and killing a police officer, Larry Minard, when a suitcase filled with dynamite went off in a North Omaha home on August 17, 1970. They were both given life in prison for a crime that they were framed for because of the FBI. COINTELPRO would do anything to put these people behind bars, even if it meant killing their own people. Some of the members fled the country to avoid COINTELPRO. Others, like Huey Newton, became corrupt and turned to drugs. On August 22, 1989, Huey Newton was killed in a drug dispute in the streets of Los Angeles. The Black Panthers Party slowly dissolved when the important leaders were killed off. Disputes in the group led to further problems, which only added to the chaos. With the illegal use of COINTELPRO, there were no more leaders to stop the mess that the FBI was creating. After time, COINTELPRO worked. In 1981, the group disbanded. The destruction of the group was complete. The Black Panthers Party were involved in leadership and legacy because they stood in the vanguard to one of the most powerful movements for social change in America. The Black Panthers were involved in leadership because they led the offensive movement against racist, oppressive whites. They were involved in legacy because they left a lasting effort that helped black people do what any other race can do today. Even though the Black Panthers helped stop racial inequality and police abuse in America, these events still occur today. In a letter received from Mondowi Longa, he says in a poem, "Who are the ones replacing facts with spin to mislead and mystify as the beatings and the chokings and the shootings?"